This is a speed paint of the starter pack meme that I saw on TikTok. It's a fight against the starter pack trend with Gen AI. I will talk a bit about the original character I have, the idea of the design, the experience drawing the starter pack, the program use, which is Clips to the Paint, generative AI, then to conclude what I could have done better. So this little silly guy is Matthias Holm. He's one of my favorite main characters of all of my stories, and he's obviously a bit of a mess. He lacks organization, he's reckless and hyper, ADHD, the whole package. He loves to skate, especially with his best friend Lingao, so whenever they go and skate, they have to go get some refreshments and then they go to the local boba shop to get some bubble tea. Lingao is addicted to caffeine while Matthias can't stand it one bit. One sip and he's down for good. After having their boba, they go to the skate park downtown to test the limits on the board. Sometimes he gets more injured than anticipated, then he has to take a day off of work. His sister Lexi isn't too fond of that, but his boss Felix Busse is a bit too nice to him sometimes. So Matthias works as a waiter in a restaurant called Mat och sånt, which translates from Swedish to English, food and such. I know, very original, but Felix Busse is very proud of this name. His favorite food is juicy burgers with fries on the side, as you can see in the drawing. I also made a BL webcomic of him and the others last summer, which I got stuck in a corner with after a few chapters. I'm still planning to make another attempt at this later on, so stay tuned for that, I guess. I might also make videos about the process of making this webcomic come alive, because I think that would be really fun for me and help me actually make this. The design. I want you to know right away what type of character he is, so I looked at a lot of skater styles and Swedish guys, aesthetics, and energetic anime characters, as well as taking huge inspirations of Reki from Skate Infinity and Crush from a webcomic on Tapas called Crushed, with the 3 instead of E. Both of these characters have similar traits as Matthias, and Matthias has also changed his face a lot. He went from a very anxious and reserved looking, which was similar to how I myself were when I worked in food service. Then I gave him more of a moody and bored type of look. After talking with some friends, we found it fitting to have Matthias be the hyper and reckless type and give his love interest a more reserved trait. Matthias still struggles with anxiety, but it isn't his whole personality anymore. He's more expressive, which makes it a ton more fun to draw him, so it was a good choice overall. The experience of drawing this starter pack meme. So this took me probably around a whole day-ish with a few breaks. That's why you also see a few cuts here and there. The fact I was recording helped me a lot stay focused, since I felt more pressure to continue even if I felt stuck, which happened a good few times. Trust me, it helped using the OBS screen as a stand-in for the drawing monitor, since I have like the monitor I'm drawing on an arm, so I have to like stand to actually draw, and it can get a bit tiring when I'm really not feeling it. It's like an excuse to just watch YouTube instead. And now I use the OBS screen so I could sit down and just enjoy it and relax a bit while watching YouTube. So that's a little lazy tip for you out there. I also tried to avoid using the 3D models, but ended up using it for the hands, because hands are hard, guys. It's hard to draw, alright? I've drawn since COVID with some breaks in between, and I have yet to manage to draw hands. Maybe I have to pray to the hands god to give me the power to draw hands. Maybe I'll do that after I finish this video. The 3D model you see is one I adjusted to fit Matthias' build and height, so I checked that for anatomy and it looked so whack, like the drawing looked whack, so I used probably 30 minutes to fix that. I also found more detailed reference beside his character design, since I wanted him to be more detailed for this trend. He needed a bit of an update anyways, because like if you see my reference sheet, it's a bit too little detailed for my liking. I also can never manage to do his hair right. Like I feel like it looks ridiculous anyway. Like how does it work? How do you draw hair? Like, tell me, please. I need it. So I just wing it for now, because as you can see, I go back and forth with his hair and hands, because like those two things are like the worst. Everything else is pretty okay, like I can manage. And when I draw like traditionally, the hair looks decent from time to time, but here it's just, oh, I can adjust, wow. And then I just get stuck. I also felt like I managed to find the zone, just stay focused and enjoy the journey. I watched YouTube and just had a blast doing this. That's when I didn't feel like giving up though. Of course. I also felt more of a pressure since I didn't want to just post this too late, even though I ended up doing that regardless. Since I had to re-record this like 3 times now, the program. I use Clip Studio Paint and I have been using it for a few years now. It works so well for me. It doesn't have a limit on layers or canvas size limit. As you can see, I am abusing that fact. I love keeping everything separate. The only thing I stopped doing that with is base colors. Yes, every single color I used was on its own layer. It was crazy. So please appreciate that I stopped that at least, because my god, that was crazy. I also love the color coding, but that isn't unusual with drawing programs. What is, however, is vector layers, and it helps me a ton. Like, you can avoid having to redraw brushstrokes too much, and as I mentioned earlier, you can use 3D models on Clip Studio. They offer some free models. Sometimes I've used Procreate since it's made for iPad, so it's a bit more easier to use than having to draw specifically on PC. My only issue is the limit on both canvas size and layers. Beside that, it's pretty cool, and I still use it for thumbnailing my comics or just sketching some ideas I have. The generative AI usage. I'm not gonna talk too much about this topic since there's a lot of videos that have covered this already. It's bad, it looks awful. It's just overall used by lazy people who don't even want to try to be creative. Some might find a good use of it, however. I'm positive for the future where there will be some regulations of it and such. When I was scrolling through TikTok to find more references of this trend, I got hit by the AI slop. It just looks terrible. I'm glad I didn't get it on my For You page and had to at least search for it. It's not like Pinterest where it's flooded by AI. It's fun to see artists mock quotes AI artists who do this trend, and I am all for it. I don't get praising the AI slop we are currently seeing. It looks soulless. Like, I started drawing because I didn't want to limit myself to needing a cast and crew to make my stories. I know it would take a long time, but it's worth it. That's what makes it so special and memorable. The fact it takes time and you have to go through a lot of stuff. Like, being an artist is hard. People don't get it unless they try. As you can see, this drawing was difficult for me. Like, I was going back and forth on everything and I was struggling, and that's just part of being an artist. It's just part of the journey. Final thoughts. In the end here, I want to talk about what I didn't like about this drawing. As a final thoughts type thing. I felt like I came into this not having a set in stone idea, which makes it fun, don't get me wrong, but it also made me stress a lot, so I didn't think of making the overall design stand out. I didn't even have a design for Matthias's skateboard prior to this, so I just winged it. So I will change that later on. Then you have the boba, which also could have looked better and represented a specific type. The burger looked a bit too big and odd looking. I like the little note I made with the chippy styled head of Matthias, as well as the QR code for Matthias's anthem song, and of course the ADHD, childish and reckless text. It looks decent. I could have worked many extra days just trying to nitpick stuff, and trust me, I would have loved that, but then I wouldn't have posted it in time. And it's already too late, so like, fuck me. I'm still glad I did this trend. I'm gonna try and post weekly on YouTube speed paints of different trends, or just me drawing my webcomic, which will be a BL love story, and it's gonna be a ton of fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time.